that your damper is correctly set. So that's the numbers on the side. So that's all to do with your drag factor. If you haven't set it, you don't know how, we can have a little chat at the end of the session. But to start with, maybe put it somewhere between 4 and 5, and then if anybody wants a bit more info, we can talk later. Yeah, cool. So a nice little warm up it would be to go through the actual stroke itself. Front stops, that will be at the front end, and then when we're back stops, that's at the back end. I like to warm up at the front end because that's where we're going to generate our power from. So we're going to start with a quarter slide. So that is all the way from front stops. We're going to catch the water basically, and then just put our heels down. So it's going to be tiny little strokes like this. So all we're going is for on our toes to our heels, on our toes to our heels, on our toes to our heels. And what we're thinking about here is we're thinking about keeping our heads up, keeping our shoulders nice and relaxed, our arms nice and floppy, then loose grip. So just that first little bit to where it all goes in the water. And what we want to make sure we're doing is we're keeping our chests forward, our heads high. The only thing that's moving is a little bit of leg action. So I want to make sure that that first bit of action is being driven by our legs, not our shoulders. So everything from the waist up basically is quite loose and relaxed. And we just want to get those glutes firing. So just do this for another 10 seconds or so. It's quite tedious. Nice. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to elongate that slide. So we're going to take our legs down to about half slide, about that much. And again, the same thing applies. We're keeping our heads high, arms nice and relaxed, nice and straight. Think of your arms as being like little noodles, just hanging on the end of the handles there. The only thing that's doing any work is the legs. So we should be moving about a foot or so up the slide. If you've got little legs like me. Again, this is just a warm up, so we're not using power, just taking it nice and easy, just really focusing on keeping our chests tall, heads high, beautiful posture, but everything is leaning forward. So another few seconds, then we will have done a minute of half slide. And now we're going to go into a quarter slide, so nearly all the way down, but not quite. And we're still leaning forward. We have not opened out the body yet. So our neck's nice and relaxed, our shoulders are nice and relaxed. No tension in the fingertips, nice and loose in the fingers. So take your legs to they're nearly flat, but not quite. They're doing all the work. Awesome. So just keep everything in the body leaning forwards. If you imagine your body is a clock, when you're sitting bolt upright, you're at 12 o'clock. So we're still leaning forward about 1 o'clock. In a minute now, we're going to open out the body. So we're going to go that swing from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So on this stroke, a little bit back. Still no arms. Just make sure you swing once the legs are flat. Or as you're just flattening out the legs, open out the shoulders. You should hear, now generating a little bit more power. So you should hear the fan wheel going a little bit more. So very important, get that sequencing, the legs, then the body, the legs back, then the body rocks. Lovely. Good. To practice what I preach, keep my shoulders loose, as far away from your ears as possible. Okay, now we're going to bring in the arms in the next stroke. Legs, body, arms come in. Arms in, arms out, body slide. Arms out, body slide. So just make sure you get your hands over your knees before you bend them. And maintaining those beautiful postures. Lovely. Keep your face nice and relaxed. It's really important as we start getting into the body of the workout. A lot of people grit their teeth and they make lots of hard faces as they try really hard. But if you can, try and keep your jaw nice and relaxed, and that'll help you keep your neck relaxed and your shoulders relaxed. Okay, we'll do 1 more minute of this gentle warm up. Another 20 seconds. Just relax a second. It's a nice little 6 minutes. What I'm going to do, and you might need to do as well, I'm going to crack open a few windows because they've just got very, very hot. So some people might need to open windows. So just bear with me a sec. Oh. Oh. That's better. Get a nice breeze going through. Okay, how do people feel about stroke rates? Do you want to go into the stroke rates a little bit? Right?
I think if you just take us up in the rest of the warm-up, just take us up some stroke rates, the ones that we're going to be concentrating on, would be good.
Okay,
to remind us of what it feels like, just in short bursts of each one.
Okay. So let's get back on our machines. That's me, thank you. So to set the stroke rate up, 2 things will happen. Firstly, you drive, you push a little bit hard on the legs, so that's going to quicken the drive, and then your hands are going to be moving a little bit faster. So now if you follow me, I'm about 22 strokes a minute. So I'm going to push it up, a little bit hard on the drive. So now I'm on 24. Move those hands quickly. Keep driving hard. Should be on about 26 now. The faster you get your hands away, you'll find you've got a little bit more time on the slide, and it's a little bit more time to set up a good position on the catch. I'm going to go, I think 26 is the highest we go in this one. So I'll take it down a bit. Now the key thing, we want to keep our split times relatively high. So as we drop that stroke rate, take a big gulp of oxygen, and you're just going to drive hard on the legs. So ideally, you're maintaining a nice low split, but you can reduce the stroke rate. Whew, I'm done. And then when we take it up again, a little bit hard on the legs, Here we go, a little bit higher. A little higher than the legs, with those hands. But remember your good technique. Taking it back up again, up to 26. Let's settle on 26. Oh, I'm done. Little tip that somebody told me recently, which, well, a few years ago, but really, really helps, is just gonna have some water. As you come forward to take that catch, you want to keep the momentum of the flywheel. So as you're coming forward, just before you start that initial shift, just lift up the chain a little bit. So come forward, little lift to the chain, little lift to the chain, and you'll find that keeps that momentum. Otherwise, it's like starting each stroke new again, which is quite heavy. But also, it's quite good because that's what you'd be doing in the boat, because that's when you're placing your oars in the water. Coming forward, a little lift, oars in the water, drive. Coming forward for a little lift, drive. Coming forward, a little lift, drive. And I found that by doing that, you keep the momentum of the flywheel going. So it's easier, and it definitely made a difference to my splits. Do you want to do any questions before we start?
Thank you. At the end, Sarah.
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure whether there's time to do it now, but I missed a bit when you started putting the stroke rate up. You explained, you broke it down a little bit, and I couldn't actually hear that. So
sorry. Yes.
Talk through it while we're not rowing.
Yeah. So the two things you want. The first thing, what's going to drive the stroke rate up, so you're going to get more strokes per minute, is your drive. You want to push harder with your legs. By pushing harder with the legs, obviously everything goes quicker. So that's your main way of getting the stroke rate up. But also, if you get your arms away faster, in a rowing boat, really what you want to be doing is your arms come out the same speed as they come in. So if you're going a little bit faster, in, out, they go the same speed. But if you do that, nice quick arms, it gives you more time to control coming up the slide, and it gives you more time to take in oxygen, or just to make sure you've got a set posture. So you're not feeling rushed and panicky, and then when you're rushed and panicky, then you lose your form. Yeah. So to drive up the stroke rate comes from the legs. Got to get those big pushes in, but also spinning the hands away. It'll really make a big difference. Is that okay?
Thank you. That's
awesome.
Very helpful.
No worries.
So now we're going to just do a few. I'm going to mute. Well, you might have to mute yourself, actually, Sarah. I'm going to mute you. I'm going to try and unpin you because I've pinned you. It's also technical. And then we're just going to take ourselves through a few little baby stretches to start to between these two bits. I'm going to leave the damper on the same setting as we just had, so between 4 and 5. Could be 5 and 6 if you want to make it harder, feel a bit harder for yourself, but it makes no difference to how far you'll go. So let's just do our kind of warm-up stretches. So a little bit of rolling the shoulders from side to side, backwards, and a little bit rolling the shoulders forwards. We're going to sit on our ergos, and we're going to just push ourselves back a little bit and do a twist. So holding the back of the slide, right at the back of the slide, keeping your hips facing forwards, twisting around using the opposite hand just to push back, and you can get a nice lateral twist there. Hold that just for a minute, not a minute actually, a few seconds, because this is warming up, so it's dynamic stretching. And then the back of the slide on the other side, twisting around those muscles in the middle of your body, holding it. And let's just take our arms back again, stand up, give your legs a little jiggle, and let us set up our intervals for 30, so we want 30 minutes set. One interval at 30 minutes is what we're going to do. So select workout, new workout, single time, and it's going to be 30 minutes. Put your thumbs up or unmute and tell me when you're ready to go. And then we're just going to go straight into first 5 minutes of this piece. It's going to be 18 strokes a minute. And you're going to, and the intention for the whole of this piece is to try and work so that you keep an even split time or output for watts. I think most of us record split times, don't we? We know that. So even or less. So as you go up the work rate, you need to be making more power for each work rate. So, are we ready? I can see Jess Chris, I can see Sarah, Lippy's in the dark. Oh, Becky's put her hand up, well done Becky. Callie's in the dark as well, but I can see your thumbs, everybody. Okay, I might throw in a few little sneaky bits where we do some fun for 10 as we go through this. So just look out for those calls, but otherwise I'm just going to call and keep us kind of focused on the number of minutes we've got to do or the number we've done. So I'm saying yes to mine now. I'm ticking the box. I'm ready to go, switching on all my gadgets. Anybody following this after the event, I hope you're enjoying it. And let us go in 3, in 2, in 1, and go, frame team. 5 minutes. I always forget how slow 18 strokes a minute is. See if you can make a note of your split time at this moment. When we come back down to 18 at the other end of the pyramid, will you be able to match it? So that's 1 minute done. Keeping on at 18. And as Sarah said, driving out, slowing the recovery. Real power in that push will give you your best work. Remember to lift up my chain as well. I've been told that little trick. Sarah, I have a feeling you might be unmuted. So at these slow rates, really think about power. This is requiring strength in your muscles. minutes of this. A delightful 18 strokes a minute. One more minute to go at 18. Is your split time the same or better than it was at the beginning of this? 5-minute piece. Seconds to go. And then we're taking up to 20 strokes a minute for 4 minutes. And here we go. For 4 minutes. At 20. So just taking up a little bit. How are those splits looking? Are you getting more work out of your extra 2 strokes a minute? Keeping going. Another 2 minutes at 20. So I've just got to put something heavy on my crib sheet down here. But keep going. minute at 20. On the way up. And 30 seconds at 20. So that's the clock. And coming up to 22 for 3 minutes in 3 seconds. Actually 5 seconds. Here we go. 22. Are you getting more work for your extra stroke race? And 1 more minute at 22. Push those legs down, push that work up. Seconds to go, and then we're up to 24 for 2 minutes, and here we go. Remember that hand lift at the catch. Getting more work for your extra 2 strokes a minute. And 1 more minute coming up at 24. open up your stroke. Stay on 24. And coming up to 26 for a blast, for a minute. Go! Really open up. Open up those lungs. Seconds. Really drive through those feet. And coming down to 24 for 2 minutes. More at 24. Keep it strong. And 15 seconds at 24. And dropping down to 22. Keep the work on. Go. And this is for 3 minutes. Keeping it at 22. Legs nice and strong and flat. Get those knees down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 50 seconds left at 22. I don't know about anybody else, but I really feel like I'm working very hard here. 20 seconds left at 22. Then we're dropping down to 20 for 4 minutes. 2/3 of the way through, guys. Stick with it. Doing well. And dropping down to 20. Keep it strong. Minutes to 20. So if you can beat the time on your way up. Keep it strong. Keeping it long. Power through. Seconds. We're going to do another burst of 10 at 20 strokes a minute. Then you're going to find just a little bit extra if you can. So in 10 seconds, we're going to 10. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 1 more minute to go, 20. Coming up. Can you keep that mythical stroke split time nice and low as you're working at these slower speeds? And it's hard. Seconds more at 20, and we go down to 18 for 5 minutes. And coming up in 10 seconds, just taking it down. And what Sarah said, At the catch. We're really working hard. And the catch, driving out. Slow the recovery. So you can work at 18. Are you anywhere near your split time on the way out? I have to say I am not. Another 4 minutes to 18. Not long to go, guys. Keeping it steady. 15 seconds. We're going to keep it at 18. And go for 10. Again. And up to this one. Go for 10. There. There. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Having another 2 minutes of this torture left. Really connect at that catch. Oh. Keeping that stroke rate really together for 1 more minute. And then you get the reward of a minute of paddling. So counting down the last 9 in 10 seconds. So if you can make these your best ones. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Done. And just paddle it out. Keep moving for this last minute. Oh, it's a lot of hard work you've just done. Let those muscles do a little recovery. If you want to take it away and do some mad thing for the last 27 seconds, do it. It's all yours. As you can see, I don't have the capacity. Nearly done. Oh. Oh. And save your work. Keep paddling a little bit. Just take those legs down a little bit. So your breath comes back to normal. Maybe exaggerate your lean back and your rock over, just to give your hamstrings a little bit of a stretch while you're doing this. Hold it there, rocking over, sliding up, just to give those hamstrings a bit of a massage. And do unmute if you want to. We'll just go through the stretch routine now. It's just going to be a little bit just to make sure we don't leave it. But do feel free to unmute.
That was brutal.
It was awful, wasn't it?
That was the worst one. That was by far the worst one.
Yeah. I found it really, really difficult to keep those split times working down at those low rates tonight.
I really struggled with my breathing, like really badly tonight. Like I just could not get my breathing in order.
How are you, Sarah? How did you find it? Libby, Callie, anybody there?
I thought I was great. I loved it. I thought the other one that we did, the 18-minute sets, was much worse. This one,
Yeah.
last week.
We did something quite similar the first week we did these. So it'd be really interesting to look back, if you can, to look back at your times and see whether you've improved or stayed the same, or whether it was just an off night. But yeah, let's just do a little bit of stretching out though. So start off with one leg out straight, the other one bent in the footrest, and pull up out of your torso, nice and tall, and then just hinge forward, bending over that straight leg. You can put your hands on the bar if you want to, and just give that nice little stretch out. Let your head flop forward if it feels like it. Mine certainly does. Okay, holding that, and then just change legs.
Oh.
So straight with the opposite leg, bending forwards. Actually, sorry, start that again. Pulling up out of your hips. Give yourself a little stretch forwards, and just stretch forwards as far as you can. Don't overdo it. You're trying to get a nice stretch in your hamstrings here. On your hamstring, the one that in the straight leg, obviously. You can rock backwards and forwards in your seat a bit, if that helps. And then sitting up tall again. Let's do some side stretches. So left arm up to the sky. The hips nice and straight. And you're just going to stretch over and feel the stretch down the side of the left-hand side of your body. And then you're going to come down again, and you're going to pull your right arm nice and tall, really pull out of your torso, and then just a little tilt over as far as it feels like a comfortable stretch. Don't overdo it. So you should feel a lovely stretch down the right hand side. So after ergoing, one of the things I find particularly needs some stretching out. So I've put my knees into my footrest now. Just grip your fingers behind you like that, and then just lean forwards, pushing those shoulders together. Stretch out the shoulders. Push your chest forward a bit as well. That feels really good. That's nice. And then do the reverse as well. Let's push out from our, just like a cat pose. Pushing your back out the other way. That feels good as well. Let's not forget those necks. They always need a little bit of relaxation. So put one hand on the side of your head, and then just gently pull it to one side. So you get a nice stretch down your neck, but don't overdo this one. It's very easy to wreck those necks. And back to centre, and again, nice little gentle tilt to the other side. Let's do that nice so back of the ergo, holding on with your right hand behind you, and then your left hand bringing to your front and bringing to your right thigh. Can't get my left and right. Sorry, Libby, all these right and lefts, and then just twisting around, just facing behind you, basically. And let's do the other side as well. So left hand, this one, Libby, goes behind you on the ergo, and the right hand on your leg. A lovely stretch around. Okay, and I'm gonna get us all to just stand up and do a nice little balance and quad stretch, because it's so good for us to work on balance. So if you've got something to hold on to, hold on, but just the very classic quad stretch. So you're pulling your foot behind you, just pushing that knee slightly behind you, so you get a really good stretch. And if you can do it standing on one leg, don't hold on to anything. If you need to balance on something, do that. I don't want you to fall over your ergo and hurt yourself. But balance is a really good attribute in being a good athletic body. So that's a nice stretch, and then we'll do the other side as well. So that's where it all goes pear-shaped. So hold that one. Really feel your weight coming down through the leg that's on the ground supporting you, and push back a little bit with your knee, and you'll get a brilliant stretch down your quads, which I've worked bloody hard at 18 strokes a minute.